To work within IT industry, a project manager, in addition to typical skill set, might require another special skill sets. First of all, you're performing local organization business knowledge. You need to understand your business. If you work in bank, you understand banking. You work in insurance, you understand insurance. If you work in e-commerce, you understand actual e-commerce. If you work in education or medical or some other, you understand a local business. Secondly, you need to understand some basic finance. Then accounting, you need to get accounting to watch the project budget. Then you need to have some special human resources, at least to have some kind of soft skills to properly communicate with people on a project, means with project stakeholders. And you need to understand some marketing, very basic, because your projects are available on the market, on the live market. Also, you need to understand some kind of networking, at least some kind of basic to understand that in IT industry you depend on network. For example, you might start with OSI, Open System Interconnection Model, describes how networking system architecture communicate and is most helpful in describing network protocols and services, also known as reference model. There are known OSI 7-layer model. You don't need to know it by heart. You simply need to be familiar, or at least being aware that such model exists for your organization network. That there are some kind of physical layers, data link layers, network layers, transportation protocols, sessions, virtual sessions, presentation layer to actual end users, and some application layer. Organization network architecture topology. All this you might need to understand once again at very basic level, because as a project manager in an IT industry, you might need to read some kind of topology schemas, basic ones. At least you might be able to differentiate between database server and web server. There are different applications located there, or mainframe, AS400. Simply speaking, you need to understand pretty basic thing like your headquarters and your office where your delivery team is working is located in city A. Your database server might be located in city B, your web server in city C, and mainframe in city D. Or all your networking are leased from major cloud providers, and you need to understand very basic stuff about it. Cloud provider service models, talking about which, there are 3 of them. Software from top down. Actually, no, let's do from bottom up. Infrastructure as a server. Actual physical networking infrastructure. Do not think what is it. Platform as a service. Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Let's go. Software as a service. You rent or lease everything, and you are end users. You're simply like you are leasing Office 365 from some kind of cloud provider. Platform as a service is used by application developers. And network architecture, it's infrastructure as a service. You don't need to understand it in depth. You need, as a project manager in IT industry, you simply need to be aware about it, at least to hear about it. Now, major cloud providers. There are 3 of them, and basically speaking, they're providing almost identical services with a little bit minor differences. Microsoft Azure known as Azure, is good in integration with Microsoft products and services, with enterprise solutions, and recommended to specialized organizations providing services like health, banking, insurance, telecommunication, software, government, and so on. Something solid foundations. Amazon Web Services, AWS, is known for its extensive services, global reach, and mature ecosystem, and recommended to commercial organizations providing services like online product sale and direct delivery, warehouse distribution like door to door, and so on. Simply speaking, everybody of us were well aware about Amazon Web Store. And finally, Google Cloud Platform (GCP) is strong in data analytics, machine learning, containerization, and recommended to high-tech commercial organizations specializing in R&D, research and development, high-tech innovative technology services, required urgently and on demand in present time or real time. You need to be aware. You don't have to be a specialist. You don't need to understand as a project manager. However, you need to be aware about their existence and do not make a round eyes on the meetings when you hear some programming languages names. For example, C++, C Sharp, Java, Groovy, Java-like, Swift, it's for banking use, Visual Basic, both Visual Basic and C Sharp are Microsoft products. Very famous Python, you need to know this logo. PHP, used for web forms. These three are used together. Red HTML, blue cascading style sheets, and JavaScript for front-end web development. This animal is COBOL, Common Business-Oriented Language. Very good old Perl and some exotic Ruby and MATLAB. Also, you need to be aware about some basic databases existence. Once again, you don't have to be a specialist. IBM DB2 is a mainframe used everywhere around the world. Very stable with good old recommendations. Very good Microsoft SQL Server. I recommend it. Old and proven Oracle database. Some for your desktop SQLite. Very special MongoDB and PostgreSQL. MySQL, new competitor to Microsoft SQL Server and Oracle DB. Could be even Redis. And very good and very old and very stable Microsoft Access. You need to be aware about typical possible programming languages IDE pairs. What is IDE? Integrated Development Environment, specifically developed for some kind of language. First pair, Python with PyCharm IDE. Second pair, Java with Eclipse IDE. Then C# with Microsoft Visual Studio. JavaScript with Visual Studio Code. And for example, Groovy with IntelliJ IDE. Typical automation testing toolsets could be for automation regression testing. Java with Selenium, you might hear about it. Python with a robot. JavaScript is good with Microsoft Playwright and Cypress. And Groovy is utilized in Catalan Studio and SOAP UI.